Dude, I look so ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous enough that I enjoy it, right? I look so odd. I think I'm just an odd looking dude. You know, there's this weird thing with getting older. You just kind of come to terms with how you look, right? And this is how I look now. And you know what? Am I as good looking as I was before? You know, with my skater boy hair and my peach fuzz face? Maybe, maybe, maybe before I was a good looking boy, but now I'm a sexy man. But anyways, I don't know. I just like sometimes I catch myself in like reflection. I'm like, you look like a fucking schmuck lord. I don't really know how to describe it, but I mean, it makes me laugh. It's I think one of my sides of my mustache is falling. This is the thing with mustaches. You really got to like keep one of the sides kind of like up, depending on which side you sleep on. But anyways, good morning. It is 5:04 a.m. on April 25th, 2020. It is Saturday. It's going to be pretty nice today. It's going to be a high 58. I think today on the grill, I want to try making a chopped cheese, which is basically what I think they call a cheat steak. This is actually a fun word that I just found for it. So a chopped cheese originally originated from Harlem, New York, and there was a couple days ago where Casey Rue, we just send each other food shit all the time, and she sent me this video to this beautiful YouTube channel where no talking, no voiceover, no music. It's just kitchen sounds, sunlight, and fantastic viewing angles. If you know what I'm saying, but just an amazing channel, and it's so many techniques are so complex that sometimes like the cooking goes over my head. And when it comes to cooking shows, there's two different types of cooking shows for me. There are the entertaining ones, and then there are the informative ones. There's not too many that can be both. Some people try really, really hard to be funny while they're cooking, and you're just like, just show me the omelet. And then other people talk way too fucking much. And it's like, bro, I want to learn. And then some people don't talk at all. You're like, bro, I want to learn. Talk to me. Show me. Tell me what you're doing. Talk about the technique that you're using. So it's a Corona. Dude, allergies lately. Where was I going with this? Cooking channels. Oh, so she sent me this awesome YouTube channel, and then I went on this like rabbit hole of looking at street food and where certain street food originated in certain parts of the United States. And we kind of got a little bit national with it too, because then we started looking at these egg sandwich burgers. They're basically like you take scrambled egg, you lay it out super thin on like a flat top griddle, and then while you're grilling the hamburger, you're doing the egg, and then you take the hamburger, you put it in the middle of the egg, then you fold the egg around the burger. And I think that's Malaysian or Indonesian. Looks super interesting. I would like to try it out. And then you've got the chopped cheese, which originated, I think it's Harlem. Please don't fuck me if I'm wrong. And you basically just take hamburger meat and you grill it up on a flat top, and then you put a bunch of American cheese in it, and you just chop that cheese into the hamburger meat. So you just get like this large pile of shredded meat and plastic cheese. And then you just put that on like a French roll or a hoagie or some sort of, and you just put some onion, some lettuce, and tomato. Some people just eat it straight up. But again, it was called the poor man's cheesesteak, aka the cheat steak, aka the chopped cheese. And I don't know, I saw it. I'm like, man, this is so fucking cool. And then I started looking at like street gyros, and now I'm like all about trying to make a gyro. I did not comprehend correctly how gyro meat was made. Maybe they make it differently in the store, but at home, you're basically mincing this lamb meat with a bunch of other, vegetables, herbs, and spices, and then you squish the lamb meat into like a glass casserole dish, and then you bake it, and then you slice it super thin, and then you fry it, and then you put it in the gyro. And I'm like, yo, that's actually not that hard. And then I looked at what it would be like to make my own pita. And apparently that is not that difficult either. So we're gonna give both of those a shot pretty soon. I need to sit down and finish this kitchen streaming room setup. I knew that if I started streaming without finishing the kitchen, that it was going to take me longer to do. But that's okay because we have actually already gotten a kitchen cooking stream in the books. Now it was mobile. We did have to use the phone, but it worked pretty well. We made some breakfast burritos. It was delicious. So yeah, I think I've got the cameras. The only thing that I need to do is complete my under cabinet webcam mounting apparatus, which is pretty simple. Here is where I have found that I fall short. When I know that I want to finish a project and I know that I want to document that project for some sort of video, aka like a document YouTube video, sometimes like the setting isn't right to start recording, or I make myself believe that the setting is not correct. And so I will push off the project because I'm not ready to shoot it. In the same way that I'm able to talk myself out of streaming, sometimes I talk myself out of recording content for YouTube because I don't feel like it. And I am trying not to focus on that too hard right now because there are, oh my God, did you hear that from my throat? I'm sorry. There are so many outside forces right now that are saying, don't do anything, stay inside, you're not motivated, enjoy the relaxing time, don't go to work, don't try that hard. When realistically, now is the perfect time to just ramp up a project, just to start doing something. I don't know about a lot of you, but I'm sure that you're able to work from home. Are you able to utilize 100% of your time while you're at home? And if you are, do you? Nobody's watching. You're able to be a little bit more slacky. However, there is this weird feeling of mine where I'm somebody who has to keep track of every minute of every day. Every task that I do, every ticket I work on, it's all time logged. And of course, at the end of a day, management can run a report that says, hey, how efficient was Nick today? What was his percent of working on tickets time compared to his not working on tickets time? So every get up and walk around, every bathroom break, every break in between tickets, it's all tracked. And that kind of exhausts you after a while. And even though you're probably efficient as fuck, because you know that your time is being tracked and your time can be tracked and pulled at any time, kind of wears on you after a while. Like knowing that somebody can just pull numbers and then make a judgment call on how productive you are, you know? And then it's like, well, like what happens if one day you work like an hour and a half late and then you just forget to document it, you know, or you forget to document that time. And then no matter what, that time is just gone. Nobody knows that you did that, but maybe that's just in the nature. Plenty of people work hard and they're not able to prove that they're working hard, right? So on the weeks where I show 130% productivity, it's a little bit different story, but I digress. I'm always curious about, I wonder if I'm more productive at home or if I'm more productive at the office. Because when I'm at the office, I don't want to say it's a war zone, but it's so much easier to get stuff done when there's just nobody around. And the song that I'm listening to right now, I ain't vibing with, so we're just going to go ahead and fast forward that. I originally wanted to start today's video talking about digital clutter. And I do want to continue to talk about this. Sometimes man, it's so crazy how I start these videos kind of like struggling to find something to talk about. And then I go off on a tangent and then 6 minutes later, here we are. We're where I wanted to be. I just have to believe in myself that I can get here. Digital clutter. I am currently trying to iron out the process of how I want to work. And my biggest issue that I'm finding right now is I like way too many different applications. So when I'm mobile, I primarily work in a Apple environment. I have an iOS device for my cell phone, and then I have an iPad OS device for my computer, which my iPad is pretty much my mobile computer as I don't have a laptop. And then, unfortunately, I am restricted to Windows operating systems when I'm sitting here at my desk, which I absolutely despise. I yearn for the day where I can sit in this office and I can just work on Mac OS instead of having to work on Windows OS. The only reason I have Windows-based operating systems is because I'm a gamer and because I'm a streamer and because both of those things don't really do well on Mac operating systems. There's plenty of people who make them work, but if you want to, if you want to play games, you got to be on Windows at this time. That's just how it is. Unless you want to virtualize or you want to install Windows operating system on Mac hardware, which is just ridiculous, anyways. But I digress. Once again, I'm trying to figure out my workflow. I have been a Google Docs lover for so long. I have been working primarily in Google Docs, I would say for probably anywhere from 5 to 7 years, like exclusively. I have not owned Microsoft Office in so long. What I'm finding recently is that the Google Docs experience on iOS and iPad OS is quite literally dog shit. It's not 100% dog shit, but the fact that you have Drive as an app and then you have Google Docs Sheets for a separate app and you have to bounce in between the apps, it's so the opposite of seamless. It's not a seamless experience, as CDN the Third would say. And after experiencing what Microsoft Office has done for their iOS apps, I'm blown away about how well it works. So if you have Teams and Office, Teams is kind of like the main hub of your productivity when it comes to your team at work. And then you have the Office app, which has Word, PowerPoint, and Excel built in. So when you're working in documents and you're browsing your files, you're only working within one app. And that is actually, as I said, a fantastic experience. When I'm on my iPad, I use a note-taking app called Bear. Now, Bear is iOS and macOS only. I don't have macOS, so I am iOS only. And unfortunately, there's no web version of the app either. So if I ever want to get a document from Bear on my iPad to a computer, I have to either copy and paste the formatting from Bear to Google Drive, or I need to export it as a document or a PDF and then do the copying. And of course, as you know, when you're trying to export a document from one app to another, if the formatting isn't exactly the same, it can come out like poo-poo on the other end. And Bear actually uses Markdown to format, which I absolutely love typing in Markdown. And that doesn't exactly transfer over to Google Drive very well either. And then you have the note-taking app, which is going to be built into iCloud, and the syncing is seamless, but I don't really like using notes. So that's my dilemma. I'm trying to figure out, how do I go from iPhone to iPad to computer? Because one of the most important things to me in this technology journey is I want to be able to bounce from device to device to device and have access to everything. I hate editing and exporting a video on my computer and then leaving and then not exactly having access to that file that I just edited. My way around that is using an app like Resilio Sync to make my directories on my computer available to my mobile device, so that if I edit a clip and I save it on my computer and I have to get up and go and then I'm out of the house for 8 hours, I'm like, shit, I really wanted to upload that clip to Twitter. I can just go on my phone, find the clip, download the clip to my phone, and then upload it. Like, I love that floatability that I can just kind of go anywhere. And there's a couple like stipulations that come with that. You have to have a shit ton of space on both your phone and your computer to be able to have these things sync back and forth. But that's kind of like the dream, right? Is for me to be able to go anywhere at any time and have access to everything that I need. And of course, with iPad OS not being a true full-fledged operating system, still very restricted in its own ways. Photoshop on the iPad, there's no Premiere Pro on iPad. However, there are rumors that Final Cut is coming to is coming to iPad. So, and if Final Cut comes around on iPad, you bet your ass I'm getting that iMac, because that's kind of the dream, is to have just an iMac in another portion of this room, so that when I'm doing my productivity stuff, like my day-to-day things, everything that I do throughout the day, I want to be on Mac OS, and then when it's time to stream, we'll stream on Windows, and that's how I would love for it to be. But that's kind of far away, because not only do I need to build a new desk, I need to build a new gaming computer, and I need to build a new streaming computer. So your boy's got some money to spend. We got to just start doing some saving. So that's kind of like my main dilemma. And, editing a file on one device and then getting it to the other device, and then how do I want to save it? I find myself getting lost and getting overwhelmed by the tools that are supposed to be helping my productivity. And I'm trying to find my way through that. And right now, I would say I'm just going to look at my home screen and fucking Conbot is still awake. My main productivity apps on iOS, I have Fantastical for calendar, Clear, which I'm actually kind of migrating away from. Clear has been an app that I've used for so long. It's a super simple, clean task app where if I just want to add a task, I just pull down and then I can type the task. And then when it's done, I can swipe it and then it goes away. But I don't want that one to go away. I need that one. Bring it back. Delete. I'm kind of migrating away from Clear, and I'm trying to take the Microsoft To Do app over. And I'm currently testing that right now. Google Drive, reminders. I have such a hard time with reminders because I always want to be like, hey, Apple Watch, please remind me to do this at this time. And then it's synced across all of my iOS devices. I get notified on all of them, and they're time-based. And it's perfect. It works completely seamlessly. You also have time-based reminders in To Do and Clear, or I can make a calendar event. It's like, do I make a reminder? Do I make a calendar event? Fuck! Pocket, Bear, my note-taking app, To Do, which is by Microsoft, which has been pretty good lately. And that's kind of the majority of my productivity apps at the moment. And I don't know, in this journey, like I said, of just trying to find what works best for me, trying to find the app that works best, that bounces between my mobile platforms and my desktop platforms, has proven to be difficult. And just as like a final point, taking pictures. Like when I take pictures and I want to get them on my computer, but I also want them to be in Lightroom so that I can edit them on any device. And that has proven to be a huge pain in the ass as well. But anyways, that's just kind of me like venting about technology and what it's like to try and use all these different devices and all these different platforms to find out what works for me. I don't know, I've been super obsessed with trying to maximize my productivity and make my shit efficient as possible. And I'm in the middle of that right now. And one of these days, I would love to make a video on like, this is my workload. This is my workflow, rather. I would like to show how I start and how I end. Because I think like I don't know anybody else's workflow. I don't know what happens. Like what happens to an idea when it starts? How does it get from your brain to your phone, to your computer, to a script, to a video, to a platform where it's uploaded? I would love to be able to get into everybody's brain and see how they do it. Because like for me, and this is kind of the last thing I'll talk about today. For me, I go, oh, that's a good idea. And then I immediately go to my phone and I open up Clear. And my Clear categories right now are personal tasks, Knackers tasks, streaming ideas, Knackers ideas, Crocs ideas, video ideas. I find out which category it belongs into. So I go, okay, Knackers ideas, yoink, find a better app for to-dos. And then it's there. And then whenever I sit down at my computer, I have a mental note. Okay, you're ready to do some work. Look at Clear, look at Apple reminders, look at Microsoft To Do, and see what kind of ideas are brewing. And then I go through and I go, oh, I've got something good for that idea. And then I start to build on it. And then if it's a script, I'll start writing it in Bear on my phone. But if I ever want to work on that script on a computer, I can't because I have to export it from Bear. So it's like, if I wanted to make this simple, I could just migrate to a single platform. I just don't know if Google Drive is that as much as I love Google Docs and how it is, how I work everywhere. I just wish that their iOS apps were better and seamless and didn't have to bounce from app to app to app to app. You know, anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I've got some Crocs and Hot Pockets highlights that I wanna edit, and I got some Valorant gameplay that I want to edit as well. I'm supposed to be streaming today I wanted to stream at 8 a.m. I don't know what I'm gonna stream. I know that I wanted to stream some gameplay, but I don't know what I want to stream. We're gonna see what happens. All right. Thank you very much for coming to my morning TED Talk. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you are anywhere in Michigan, I hope that you enjoy these 60-degree weather days. I hope to God the weather starts to get warmer because I'm ready to cook outside, man. I'm ready to get on that flat top grill. I'm also ready to rebuild my deck outside so that I can have a table that covers. I mean, you know what I want to do? I want to see what I need to do to pull the flat top grill off of the grill and just build it into like a table so that I don't have to deal with this like finicky, shitty little cart thing. I want to do that, but I don't know if I'm skilled enough for it. Anyways, you have a great day. Thank you for coming through, hanging out. I love you.